Indonesia is expecting its worst dry season since 2019, due in part to the return of the El Niño weather pattern. The resulting prolonged hot and dry weather has caused major fires in Central Kalimantan on the island of Borneo. More than 4,000 hectares of land has already been affected. Many of these fires were started by people. Now, local regulations allow small-scale fires to clear land, but observers say these rules are abused by large corporations. DW's Rebecca Napitupulu reports.
This is a family-owned farm. Putting out fires like the one that destroyed this land is routine for firefighters in Palangkaraya, Central Kalimantan. It happens every year. The ground is peat. It's highly flammable and hotspots can linger underground. Annie Dilesa farms oranges here. She successfully protected her trees when fire came to her neighborhood, but the flames took her neighbor's chicken coop.
There was fire over there, around that area, and over here. We called the firefighters, but when they arrived, everything had burnt down. Not because they were too late, but because they had to handle the fires in other places too.
Authorities have been trying to stop people lighting fires to clear land. This poster says, "Stop burning the forest," and says those found guilty of doing it on purpose can be jailed for up to 15 years.
But firefighters continue to be busy, even though locals tell us many no longer set fires. And the Disaster Management Agency says the fires are due to people.
Almost 99% of the fire is generated by human activities, whether it's intentional or due to negligence. Natural factors such as this year's El Niño will make the situation and conditions around Central Kalimantan, which is still dominated by land and forests, become more flammable and lead to wildfires.
Some small fires are allowed in order to clear land for small-scale farmers. But local campaigners say the rules are being exploited by big companies.
Most of these regulations are also used by other actors who, from what we've learned, have different motives. It's important to differentiate between these regulations, which are meant to protect communities based on local culture, and the bigger actors, who are motivated by the economic benefits that they want to achieve.
Some of those bigger actors are being prosecuted. In 2019, investigators charged 7 companies for slash-and-burn clearing peat forests. Several were fined. But the fact that Indonesian Borneo keeps burning should increase pressure on authorities to stop all those who light fires, big and small.
And earlier I spoke with Kiki Taufik from Greenpeace, who's global head of the Indonesia Forest Campaign. I asked him about the problem of arson in causing the wildfires.
Yeah, of course, we cannot judge why people are setting the fire, but the fact what we found that's actually a lot of the hotspot happen near from the palm oil plantation. Even that we found also inside the palm oil plantation. So the motive actually, what we are already studied, already researched from the previous time. There is a lot of motive which is connecting to the farmer or also the palm oil plantation who would like to expand the plantation. And then in the session like this, like the dry session like this, which is actually this is repeating every 4 years, yeah, from 2015 and then 2019 and then now 2023, especially the time there is a El Nino season, and then it's quite drought, and it's the good time for bad people, for some people who just putting the small fire, but it's impacting a lot.
Right. Talk to us a bit more about the role of climate change and the El Nino. weather pattern that you were talking about, and this pattern, I believe, brings prolonged hot weather. Is it making forest fires worse? Are there more forest fires as a result of it?
Yes, actually, yeah, of course, that El Nino is impacting or making the fires more bigger, yeah, because it's quite dry. Especially, I think in Indonesia case, especially in Sumatra and Kalimantan, because most of the area is in the peatland area, which is peatland supposed to be wet. And then if they are built by as the plantation, which is there are a lot of canal, and then the water is go out from the peatland, then if they dry and it's easily for peatland become burning. And then if already burned, then it will be difficult to suppressing the fire.
So you have the twin impacts of arson, that's a deliberate action, and then you have El Nino, which in a sense can be argued is also the result of climate change, which is deliberate. What can be done to fight this?
Oh, I mean, the government of Indonesia already have, I mean, doing something, developing the peatland restoration agency. They also have sanction of the companies. However, still, I mean, that's we looked at the government failed to enforce its own law, while hundreds of thousands more hectares of forest and peatland burned within palm oil and pulp and paper concession. The other thing is related with the restoration, which is the restoration is important. There's a lot of burn area or destroy peatland, which is supposed to be restored from 2015 until now, but it's not. I mean, the progress is not yet good enough, because we see until now there is still a fire happen in the same area in peatland, which is the restoration is not working well.
Right. We'll leave it there for the time being. But thank you so much for joining us today. Kiki Taufik from Greenpeace Indonesia. Thank you, sir.